What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today with another deck profile, and it is for Mutant Thunder Dragon. So on this casual Friday, I kind of figured we'd take a look at the newest TCG exclusive archetype. I did finally get it in the mail, so I got to build it. I did only have like 2 copies of Ultimus, so ultimately we've decided to go with... get it? Ultimate. Ultimately we've decided to not go with an Extrav build, so this one does not use Extrav, and we've just kind of like mixed and matched, gone around. Ultimately... it's a pretty solid list though, so we'll get on into that one. But as always, before we do get started, please remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people. And let's get on into the deck profile. Okay, so starting us off, we of course have 3 copies of ST46. Again, searches for your spell and trap cards. You can banish it off the field. It gets you the other cards based on what you banish it with. So you can get the Beast and the Mutant Arsenal. We don't play any Mutant Mists in this list, so you're never going to banish a spell with it. And our spell count's pretty low anyway, and they're all power spells, so like you wouldn't really want to be doing that anyway. Then, same again, we've got 3 copies of M5, so yeah, we're not playing like a good spell, we're not playing any spell target, so you're not going to use this as spell cards. This is just your primary, hit it on the summon, then you get your Mutant Monster, just like standard rotors whenever they hit field, they're great. Then for the big boys, we're playing 2 copies of Beast and 1 copy of Arsenal. So yeah, no Mutant Mist in here, so never ever use the spells. Like, can't stress that enough. Don't try and trigger this with the spells. Because we're the Thunder Dragon list, like, the Beast is the most important one, because you want to be banishing your Thunder Dragons with your little guys, and then you combo off. Then for our Thunder Dragon lineup, we have 3 copies of Dark, primarily because we need a quick effect to trigger off with the, I've struck a complete blank there, trigger off with Titan, so you want a quick effect to be able to discard into one into the other. When you use 1 for the summon, you'll hopefully have like another one to then trigger on the opponent's turn to get the 3rd, which is why you need to play 3. Then of course we have 2 copies of Roar to get the body on board for link climbing, so we do, because we're not playing an Extrav list, we do have quite a healthy link lineup that you can like customize to your own choice, so we're just playing the 2 copies of Raw for now. Then we have 1 copy of Hawk so that we can reborn from the grave, get more resources on board. Then we've got 2 copies of Dragon Matrix, again because it's a quick effect, you can trigger from hand, activate the Titan, and yeah, solid card. Then we are playing the Danger lineup because we don't have the Extrav in the build. So we are 1 copy of Jackalope, 1 copy of Nessie, and 1 copy of Tsuchinoku. We're not playing any ranked 3s, typically because like you need the ST46 to resolve. So you're just playing like the Tsuchinoku and the Jackalope as 3s, and we're not playing any like rank 3s. But ultimately, yeah, we're not play. You can choose to play the 8s if you want to, and you can like use like Beast and stuff to go into like rank 8 plays if you want to do that. But because we're not playing the rank 8s, we're not playing the Danger 8s. Sorry, other way around. Not playing the Danger 8s, not playing rank 8s. Then for the 1 hand trap, we play 3 copies of Shifter. You want to go first in this build, so you just go first, activate your Shifter, start playing. Then after that, we've got the spells. 2 copies of Mutant Evolution Lab. I honestly considered playing this at 1. Like, it's a good card, it fixes a lot of broken hands, but it is once per turn, so like you don't really want to be playing... Oh, you don't want to really have multiple. I guess you can put the other at the bottom of the deck if you brick super hard. Then after that, we're playing 1 copy of Mutant Fusion. Not very good. The trap is like a much better option, but we do have the Mutant Fusion for in the case that it does come up. You can dump it off your the Predaplant as well. Then for the Power 1-ofs, we've got 1 copy of E-Telly because it essentially starts up your entire deck. 1 copy of Goldsark because it can get you into the Thunder Dragon engine. And then we've got 1 copy of Thunder Dragon Fusion to summon the Titan. The 40th card is an Upstart Goblin. You can switch it for another Danger if you're going to play like a heavier Danger package, so just keep that in mind. Then for the traps, we've got 3 copies of Expansion. I did consider playing this at 2, but it does help you a lot more in the grind game, which is what I guess you're trying to force in this list. You want to like force a grind game on like turns 2 and 3, and then you just want to like kill your opponent after that. Then we've got 3 of the better fusion spell, and that is Mutant Cry. The sole reason, because this card can use like Grave and Face Up Banished, it's solid. You do get to go from deck with the other one, but like really you don't really need to do that. Like in the grind game, you just want to flip Mutant Cry and win the game. Then we're playing 3 copies of Imperm. After that, solid trap card that you can set, like probably the best like settable hand trap you don't have to worry about, good for first and second. Then card number 40 is a Macrocosmos. So when I was like sitting here, I knew I had like 38 cards. Then I was like, macro and an upstart. Seems good. Okay, next off we have the extra deck, and starting us off is 2 copies of Ultimus. I didn't have 3, which is what ultimately forced this build to be not an extra build, but you don't need to play the extra build, because I can't quite like this list compared to an extra build list. So you have your primary negator in the Ultimus. Then we've got 2 copies of Synthesis. It does give you like names, so if you end up resolving all 4 fusion spells, like it's good, but rarely both of these are going to come up. You do want to be summoning the Ultimus instead. Next off, we've got 1 Titan to round out our fusions. You're only playing the 1 Thunder Dragon fusion, so you only need the 1 Titan. In an extra build, you just play 3. Then for the links, we've got 1 copy of Verte Anaconda, because it can dump your Thunder Dragon fusion and it can dump your Mutant fusion. Gives you both of those options. I think you'd probably rather want to use the Thunder Dragon fusion if you're like stuck in that situation. Then we've got 1 IP Masquerainer, because you're going to have like free link materials that you're going to want to throw around, so IP is the way to go. Then we've got 1 Cross Sheep, because when you do a fusion summon, you want to like reborn from the grave. 1 Trisbania to clear out back rows in back row matchups. Then we've got 1 Unicorn, summon that off the IP, get the shuffle back. Then for link 4s, we've got a lot of link 4s, because you have so much room. So you've got an access code talker for when you're trying to push game. You've got an Appaloosa for if you go first and you can have the option to set up negations. We've got 1 Zeraboros because you can make your banish very big in this deck. So Zeraboros could just like win you the game in a situation where access code maybe wouldn't. Then we're playing Borreloid Dragon for if you can't out some pesky monsters. And 1 Boral Sword Dragon because it plus a fusion should be game pretty much every single time. Okay, and that will wrap us up here for the deck profile on this one. If you do have any recommendations, as always, comment them down below. I'm sure everyone's like happy to see like a bit of change. Ultimately, like I really like this list. Like it's solid. It doesn't really brick from what I found as well. Like I'm sure that whenever someone else will play this, they'll find a way to brick with it. But I found like in my quick little bit of testing with this, like it was pretty smooth. The fusioning is slow, and that's ultimately like my main critique of the deck is like overall it just like lacks a bit of tempo to keep up with like a lot of decks at the moment. We'll see where this deck goes from here, because I don't think we're going to get any more TCG support given they got 14 cards this set. Hopefully that the OCG card that they get is really broken. But as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon everybody.